Welcome back, everyone. Look, if you want to know exactly where the big money, raw compute power, and sheer physical innovation are flowing right this second, well, you are in the exact right place. In today's Explainer, we're mapping out the blueprint of the new economy. We're going to look at 2026 market caps, the latest cloud computing wars, and Tesla's massive new Q1 update.
Okay, let's kick things off with a question that kind of frames this entire discussion. What connects a multi-trillion-dollar chipmaker, a sprawling cloud server farm, and an autonomous humanoid robot just walking across a factory floor? Well, the answer is foundational compute power. We're taking a top-down look today, starting from the sheer, honestly unbelievable scale of global wealth generated by AI hardware in the cloud, and tracking it all the way down to the physical machines being built right now.
$4.6 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. That is NVIDIA's staggering market valuation as of May 2026, officially making it the single largest company on the planet. And you know, this number isn't just some abstract financial metric, it's literally the heartbeat of the global AI gold rush. It represents a massive, planetary-scale investment in the infrastructure of artificial intelligence. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the trillion-dollar club, move right into the cloud infrastructure wars, explore how AI is the ultimate differentiator, and then dive deep into Tesla's massive AI pivot and how they are literally building the physical future.
All right, part one, the trillion-dollar club and the biggest companies in the world right now.
To truly grasp the 2026 economy, we've got to look at the scoreboard. Pulling from real-time AlphaSense data, look at the top 5: NVIDIA, Alphabet, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Notice a trend here? It is the absolute dominance of a single sector. We aren't just looking at software companies anymore. We're looking at the architects of the AI age. Actually, looking at the top 10, only Berkshire Hathaway isn't a tech giant. It's kind of funny to think we used to just call them tech companies, because right now, they are the absolute bedrock of the global economy.
Which brings us to part 2, the cloud infrastructure wars powering all these behemoths.
Those multi-trillion-dollar valuations we just talked about? Yeah, they rely squarely on a global cloud infrastructure market that's projected to blow past $800 billion this year. It's massive. Breaking down the Code Cloud 2026 report, AWS is still holding on to its lead with about 31% of the market. Microsoft Azure is sitting in second at 24%, but get this, they're growing the fastest in absolute revenue. Google Cloud, down at 11.5%, is actually growing the fastest in percentage terms. The rest of the market is pretty fragmented, but those big three are absolutely dictating the rules of the game. So how do they actually stand out from each other? Well, AWS wins on sheer breadth. With over 200 managed services, they are the ultimate one-stop shop. Azure, on the other hand, wins heavily on enterprise integration. If a company is already running on Microsoft 365 or manages employee permissions through Active Directory, Azure is just a seamless, no-brainer choice. And GCP? That's the engineer's cloud. They offer best-in-class, raw technical tools like the Google Kubernetes engine for managing sprawling apps, BigQuery for massive data crunching, and a seriously fast global network. Let's move to part 3, AI as the ultimate differentiator. This is the new battleground. And here is where the whole narrative really shifts. AI is the new battleground, period. Ever since that crazy acceleration of AI back in 2024, machine learning has become the single most critical deciding factor when a company is picking a cloud provider. It's not just about cheap storage or hosting websites anymore. It's all about who can train your incredibly complex AI models the fastest. So the crucial point here is how enterprises are reacting to these highly specialized AI strengths. Azure has that exclusive OpenAI partnership. GCP is out there offering custom tensor processing units, or TPUs, for deep data crunching, and AWS counters with an absolutely massive selection of GPUs. Because each offering is so specific, here's the mind-blowing part. Roughly 75% of enterprises are now utilizing a multi-cloud strategy. 3/4 of the entire market? They're mixing and matching, completely refusing to get locked into just one vendor, just so they can leverage the absolute best AI tools from each of them. All right, part 4, Tesla's massive AI pivot. This is basically a microcosm of the entire AI economy. Let's bring this down from the abstract cloud into physical reality. Tesla is a perfect case study for this kind of vertical integration. They recently achieved tape-out, which is the final design phase before manufacturing for their next-generation AI Phi processor. So they aren't just buying chips anymore, they're designing their own.
And by partnering with SpaceX to build the largest chip fab ever down in Texas, they're basically preparing for a future where they anticipate needing way more chips than the global industry can even supply.
And they aren't wasting any time putting those chips to work. This Cortex-2 AI training cluster is absolutely colossal. Tesla is building their own massive AI compute infrastructure right on site so they can reduce their reliance on public clouds over time. Cortex-2 is already online, it's actively running training workloads, just churning through billions of miles of driving data to train the very neural networks that are going to power their autonomous future.
All that hardcore hardware translates directly into real-world software results. In Q1 of 2026, Tesla launched Full Self-Driving, or FSD, version 14.3. By totally rewriting their AI compiler, they cut inference latency by up to 20%. That means the car's brain is making decisions 20% faster in real time. And the real-world impact? Unsupervised robotaxi rides are officially live in Dallas and Houston right now. Plus, FSD Supervised was just approved in the Netherlands, which swings the door wide open for a massive European expansion. Which perfectly leads into our final section, Part 5, Building the Physical Future and Grounding this AI Economy.
This right here is where the AI economy truly grounds itself, taking all that incredibly complex software and injecting it into physical machines. Look at the dual focus of Tesla's factory expansions. On one hand, site prep is fully underway to manufacture 1 million Optimus humanoid robots a year in Fremont and a staggering 10 million a year in Texas. And right alongside that, pilot lines are already churning out the heavy-duty Tesla Semi. It is quite literally the digital brain meeting heavy metal.
And it all really culminates with this, the team celebrating the start of production for the Cybercab at Gigafactory, Texas. The Cybercab, the Tesla Semi, and their massive Megapack 3 battery systems are all right on schedule for volume production starting this year in 2026. This isn't just conceptual anymore, guys. This is the physical, tangible realization of all those massive AI and compute investments we were talking about at the top of the explainer.
To wrap things up, there's a quote that perfectly captures the vibe across all our sources today. The future is incredibly bright for those investing in electrification, cutting-edge software, and AI. We've seen how $800 billion in cloud infrastructure is supporting multi-trillion-dollar tech valuations, which are then turning around and funding this massive pivot toward physical, autonomous robotics. The money, the compute power, and the hardware are all completely aligning in 2026, so the only question left to ask yourself is this: is your own skill set ready for the physical AI economy being built right now? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.